Hey everybody, Ryan here at eTrailer. Today we're going to be taking a look at the best hitch options for your 2009 Chevrolet Malibu. Up here we're going to have the Draw-Tite, and right here we're going to have the Curt. Now before we get too carried away talking about the differences and similarities between the two, I'd like to point out which one I would personally choose for my own Malibu. I think I would go with the Curt, and that really just has to do with the appearance. That's why I would choose it. In my opinion, it's going to look a little bit more put together, especially the collar, I think looks better, and I think the finish looks better. Smooth, and overall, it's just going to kind of give the back of our Malibu a more factory look. The appearance or looks of the hitches is really going to be the biggest difference between the two. Here up close, if you look at the Drawtite, you can see this collar just doesn't look nearly as put together as the Curt, and it's almost more of an afterthought. If you move down to the Curt, you can see it's just a solid one-piece design, and overall just looks a whole lot better. And the actual finish of each hitch is going to be a little bit different too. The Draw-Tite is going to have more of a semi-gloss finish, and if you get your hands on it, you can tell it's going to be a little bit thinner as far as the coating goes compared to the Curt. If you move down to the Curt, you're just going to be able to tell it feels a little bit thicker, and this has more of a gloss finish, and in my opinion this finish here just feels like it'll keep the hitch in better shape for longer. Another really minor difference I found has to do with the safety chain openings, but this is really only going to affect you if you plan on doing some towing. The Draw-Tites are going to be a little bit more stout and a little larger, so it can be a little bit easier to get your safety chain hook in place compared to the Curts. Are a little bit thinner and a little bit smaller. Not really a huge deal, but like I said, if you plan on primarily doing some towing, this might make life a little bit easier having those larger openings. But keep in mind, many of our customers really don't use their Malibu to do a whole lot of towing. Most cases it's for accessories and bike racks. So if that's what you plan on using, this really isn't a huge deal to you. But other than that, the hitches are going to be very similar. They're both going to be Class 2s, and so they're both going to have that 1¼ by 1¼ receiver tube opening. They're also going to share the same weight capacities. They're both going to have that maximum gross tongue weight rating of 300 pounds. And so that's going to be the amount of weight that's pushing down on the hitch. So that's good for those 1 to 3 bike racks and many different types of cargo carriers. As far as the maximum gross trailer weight rating goes, they're both going to be 3,500 pounds. So that's going to be the amount of weight that's pulling on the hitch. So that's the weight of your trailer plus anything that you might have on it. Now, I do recommend, it is always a good idea to check with your Malibu's owner's manual to make sure your car can pull that much weight. And both of them are also going to have the 1/2-inch size pinhole. Now, I do want to point out that neither hitch does come included with a pin and clip, but if you need one, you can find it here at eTrailer. So just to give you guys an idea on what the hitches will look like installed in the back of the Malibu, today on our Malibu, we have the Draw-Tite. Now, one thing I do want to point out, both the hitches are going to sit a little bit further back, and so this could potentially give you an issue with folding accessories if that's what you plan on using. Since it does sit pretty far back, you may not have that distance you need to fold them up correctly. But there is a solution if that is your problem, and what you can do is pick up an extension. You can find it here at eTrailer, which more or less plugs into the receiver tube and brings it out a little ways and lets you fold it up. I also want to mention too, since the only hitches available for the Malibu are the 1¼ size, there is a way to use 2-inch accessories as well. The 2-inch accessories are readily available. You have a lot more to choose from, and especially if you already have them, you want to be able to use them and not have to get new ones. So if that's your case, they actually make an adapter that goes from 1¼ to 2-inch and allows you to use those accessories. The one that I've had experience with and that I personally like is the Curt. It brings it out a little bit further and gives you that 2-inch opening. But other than that, it's really just going to come down to your personal taste and how you want the hitch to look on the back of your Malibu. And that'll finish up our look of our best hitch options for the Chevrolet Malibu. I hope you find this information useful and it helps you pick out which hitch will work best for your car.